Hey, good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to see you again. Happy Friday. I'm looking forward to my Friday as well. I hope you are. I'm Rita Hickman, body mind expert, shiatsu massage therapist, and I help women in narcissistic relationships heal themselves and move forward. So, what we're talking about today is how to be happy, even if you have a narcissist in your life, because you end up facing some of the most difficult times of your life when you're an adult and you have a narcissist. Because many times we're kind of geared and designed for them already. You know, we were taught not to have boundaries. We were taught to be good women. We were taught to be perfect. You know, we were possibly went through abuse. We learned how to handle it. And then, you think that you go through therapy and you get to the other side, and then you find yourself magically, mysteriously in a relationship with someone who is extremely toxic. So if that's where you're at, and you're starting to look at your life and realize that you're surrounded by narcissists, and you have no idea how you got there, and you know that you're sick and miserable and things are starting to fall apart, it's time to start changing how you live life, how you engage with life. And one of the main things is deciding for yourself that you are going to have a happy life no matter what. No matter whether you're stuck with a narcissist, whether you're related to them, whether you're married to them, you decide for yourself, step number one, that you are going to have a happy life. Because that's one of the things that gets in the way is narcissists really sort of hijack you. As soon as you think you're starting to get traction or things are going well, then unexpectedly the rug's pulled out from underneath you. And we end up in a very reactionary state. So women end up in this place of constantly on the lookout, constantly on guard, their stomach knotted up, they're, prone to headaches, their shoulders knotted, all sorts of illnesses, because they end up on the receiving end. They end up on the end where they're reacting and absorbing the toxicity from the people who are very, very unhappy around them. So, what do you do about that? Well, one, you really have to take back your power around it all. That's why you decide that you're going to have a good life no matter what. And then it stops becoming about the narcissist and it starts becoming about you, exactly where it needs to be. Because a narcissist is going through their own demons. They're doing things for their very own reasons that we don't know what they are, and we may never know because the psychology behind it is just way too complicated. They come from maybe a place of ADD or a place of childhood trauma or whatever it may be. But their inner world is not something you will ever understand. So you can try to you can try to manipulate it, you can try to deal with it. Um, but at the end of the day, when you make it about the narcissist and what the narcissist is doing, you really take away any power you have over having a good life because they don't have the ability to change at this time. They don't have the ability to be something that they're not ready for. And that's an acceptance that kind of has to come with the territory. You have to say to yourself, you know what? I have no control over this. And so the only thing that I can do is start to do the things that make me feel better. When you turn the lens around to look at you, to look at your symptoms, what you can do about those, to look at the tools available to you, what you can do about those, where you can get support and help in other people. When you start looking for help for you, instead of looking how to survive a really toxic situation, what happens is you start to get the resources you need, you start to heal, and the dynamic changes. You become someone different. And that someone different means that the narcissist codependent relationship changes because you can only have a narcissist codependent relationship when one of you is codependent. Now, the narcissist isn't going to stop being a narcissist. And so it's about you becoming the most balanced, healthy, wonderful version of yourself that you can, getting yourself to a grounded place. So this is the fun part. Once you realize that you are 100% responsible for your own emotions and your own world, that's when you can start to look for solutions. As long as the narcissist keeps our focus on them, keeps our fear and our anxiety wrapped up around their turmoil, as long as that happens, you are going to stay stuck. And so part of it is saying, you know what? Yes, this is happening. Yes, they affect me. Yes, this makes me sick. What do I want to do about it? And that's the key question. Not being stuck in that this is happening to me, because that is a victim mindset. And there's nothing wrong with a victim mindset. I mean, women were raised to have a victim mindset. We were told and taught that we had no power, that we had no voice. And when we tried to have power and tried to have voice, we were dominated, squashed like a bug, let's say. And so we learned these lessons that there's nothing we can do. It's called learned submission. And that it's the learned submission that keeps us trapped in this place of pain and fear and anxiety and hurt and overwhelm. That's what keeps us trapped, not what the narcissist is doing, but the fact that we never learned that how to stand up for ourselves, and we never got experience about what that could look like or what the consequences would be. And so we look out at the world and we think, I'd never do that. I just better comply. I just better fit into the mold. I better be the person they want me to be. But if you do that, nothing ever changes. What changes is when you say, enough. I've had enough. What do I want to do about it? And that's when you start on a low level of doing things which get your body healthy and get your mind healthy and get your spirit healthy. You know, you start to do things which nourish you in a really wonderful way. And when you do that, you will find everything is so much easier. Everything is a lot more peaceful. And even if the narcissist still is struggling, you won't struggle as much. You won't be hijacked as much. You won't feel so ripped apart, because they really need to deal with their own issues in the way that they do, and you can decide to be a part of that or decide not to be a part of that. But the most important thing is for you to recognize that you need help, for you to recognize that you can't do this by yourself and you never were meant to do it by yourself, and that there's nothing you can do to change the other person, because really it is so complex that you will never really have a clue as to what they're going through. So instead, you have to focus on you, look at what you're going through, how you want to handle it, what works for you, what makes you feel good. And when you do those things, when you control the things that you can, that's when the stuff around you starts to change. Okay, so if you want to be happy, even if you have a narcissist in your life, it's the decision for yourself. I'm going to be happy. Now, the neat thing about the subconscious is when you give it a task, when you sincerely give it a task, like, I want to break out of a narcissistic relationship. Let's say that's your task. You can set the task, maybe think about it a little bit, but then take a nap, go away, go for a walk, do something else, because your subconscious is still working on it and it's going to start looking for solutions. It's going to start finding solutions for you. The most important part is to ask it a question. Ask yourself to solve the problem and then give it the space to do so. So here's your homework today. I want you to think of one question or task that you could set your subconscious on. Consider them as like a search and rescue dog. You can set your subconscious to find these things, to look for those things. And it may take a little while, but it'll stay on it'll stay on path. It'll stay on track. So today, come up with a question. The question could be, how do I survive my narcissistic relationship? How do I thrive in a narcissistic relationship? How do I get out of a narcissistic relationship? How do I move on from a narcissistic relationship? Come up with a question that you're really looking for answers for, and your subconscious will take over and start finding them for you. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So if you've decided that you're ready to break free, set your mind free and let it find the solution for you. So that's your homework assignment today. Okay, cool. So if you know of anybody who could benefit from this, please share it. If you feel stuck yourself, we've got a wonderful group we're pulling together. Message me, because I'll get you the information. You'll be in it on the ground floor. We've been doing a smaller private group, and we've decided to open it up and make it bigger for people and add a few more elements. So if you're curious, it's going to be super affordable and is a wonderful, exactly what you need in order to get what you need to move forward. Okay? So I'm Rita Hickman. Hope you have a great day. Share this with somebody, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.